Now the next terminology, cost. Cost can be termed as the amount of resources given up in exchange for goods and services. Cost is the amount given up in exchange of goods and services. For instance, suppose we purchase the machinery. So we will find out the cost of machinery. So suppose the purchase price of machine is 1,50,000. Now we will add on it carriage. Suppose carriage is 10,000, plus we'll add installation charges, and installation charges is 5,000. Now the cost of machine is 1,65,000 is the cost. So all the expenses related to that machinery will be added, purchase price, carriage plus installation, then the cost comes. So in exchange of this much amount, we have given up this much amount for the machinery. So this is the amount of resources given up. Cost is referred or termed as the amount of resources given up in exchange for goods or services. Anything, if we have availed and we have paid for the same, that is our cost. Same with the building. Cost of building. When we say the cost of building include everything: bricks, cements, labor charges, everything, whatever the materials used in the building. When we add all these things, then we come to know that this is the cost of the building, cost of construction of this building. Okay, cost of 1 cup of tea, cost of 1 cup of tea, includes so many things. And finally it may be rupees 4 rupees 50 paise. It includes water, milk, sugar, tea leaf, labor charges, everything added on it. So this is your cost. So take 1 cup of tea, whatever the amount we pay for it, that is our cost. Okay, that is our cost. So give up in exchange for goods or services, that is the cost. Suppose we have purchased land at rupees 10 lakh. We have given the amount to the broker, land purchased at 10 lakhs. We have given 50,000 to broker. Registration of that land is 60,000. So land value is now, cost of land is now 11,10,000. Okay. Now come to the next, voucher. What is voucher? Second one, what is voucher? Voucher is prepared on the basis of documentary evidence. When the transaction is completed, give and take, we receive the documentary evidence in terms of cash memo, bills, invoice, debit note, credit note, check, like this. These are the documentary evidence. On the basis of documentary evidence, the business prepare voucher. It is prepared in the format of the business. Name of the business and the address and everything will be mentioned. Whose account will be debited and whose account will be credited. There must be a signature of the accountant and the signature of the authorized person who is authorized to sign on the voucher. After preparation of voucher, we enter the transaction and we will record the transaction in the books of account. So first there will be a transaction. In this transaction, we get the source document, On the basis of source document means cash memo, bills, invoice, debit note, credit note, these are the source document. Deed, these are the source document. On the basis of source document, the vouchers are prepared, and vouchers are in a printed format, and it is in the name of the business. Name of the business at the top, voucher number, date, everything, address of the business, whose account will be debited, whose account will be credited, okay, signature of the accountant, counter signed by the authorized person. And when the voucher is prepared, it is normally prepared in triplicate format. Then when the voucher is prepared, thereafter the source document and vouchers are attached, staple, and the transaction is recorded in the book. So thereafter the transaction is recorded in the books of account. So this is voucher. The different type of voucher are there: cash voucher, non-cash voucher. We will discuss later on. Bad debts. What is bad debts? Bad debts means the amount which is sold on credit, business sold the goods on credit, sold the goods on credit to a customer, suppose A is one of the customer, and customer failed to pay the amount. And another word we can say that we are not in a position to realize that amount from that customers. That customer may be insolvent, or that customer may leave that place. We are unable to trust that customer, so the customer may die, and the amount cannot be recovered from that party. So if we have sold the amount 10,000 goods on credit to a customer, and customer died, or customer has left the place, or customer has declared insolvent, or we are not able to realize the amount from the customer, whatever the reasons may be, if we are not able to realize the amount, this amount 10,000 from him, then this amount is called bad debts. It is bad debts. It's a loss. Bad debts is the loss of the business. It's a loss of the business because we fail to realize the amount from the customer. In bank asset side, there are so many non-performing assets. The amount given, bank has given loan to the customer, but bank unable to realize that amount, whatever the reasons may be, that is shown in the asset side, but that assets are actually not the asset. That assets are called non-performing assets. So here if we sold the goods on credit to our customer, or customer failed to pay that amount, or we are unable to realize that amount, whatever the reasons may be, reason may be the customer is insolvent, customer has left the place, customer died, and customer not ready to pay the amount, and we are not able to realize that amount from the customer or his family, then we treated that amount as a bad debts, and it's a loss. Okay, what is bad debts? Bad debts, it's a loss for the business. Bad debts is the loss for the business. Next terminology is entry. When the transaction is recorded in the books of account, it is called entry. When the transaction is recorded in the books of account, then it is called entry. Okay. Solvent. What is solvent? Solvent means when the customer or the party or the person can pay his liability, then the person or party or enterprise is called solvent. When the person or party is able to pay his or her liability, then the person is called, or the party is called solvent, or the firm is called solvent. Means the assets of the firm is more than the external liability. Then the firm is solvent. Okay, just opposite of solvent is insolvent. 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 when the person or party is not in a position to pay his liability, then the person or party is called insolvent. Means the external liability of the person, exceed his assets, and his financial condition is worst. Even the person, if the person will sell his asset, then also he cannot pay his liability. Suppose the external liability of the person is 10 lakh and his assets is only 2 lakhs. So after selling of these assets, even he cannot pay this amount. So this person deserve for insolvency, declared insolvent. And insolvent can only be declared, this is one condition. Second condition is what? Second thing must be followed. The court can only declare the party or person as insolvent. The two things must be there. The liability of the person exceed the assets, and second thing, the court can only declare a person or party as insolvent. And when the person or party is declared insolvent by the court, then the court take over his all assets under his possession, and the payment will be done by the court to the external liability. Okay. Revenue. What is revenue? Revenue means income which are recurring in nature. Income which are recurring or repetitive in nature are called revenue. It may be sale of goods is your revenue income, rent received, if it is repetitive in nature, rent received, interest received, dividend received. These are revenue. Repetitive in nature, then that income is your revenue income. Now come to the stores. Anything which is purchased for consumable purpose in the business is called stores. It is not for sale. For instance, lubricant, store and spare parts. It may be your packing materials. These all are called stores. This is for consumption in the business, not for sale.